coming around to complete lap 61. You see the restart line. The green flag will go in the air in the vicinity of that line on the track.
The brothers Busch go with each other, Kyle?
You know, I don't know after the Charlotte incident.
I don't either.
But, you know, earlier in the race, just watching some of the stuff we watched, the 2 pulled over and let the 5 go, and then the 5 run up there a little bit, and he pulled over and let the 2 go. So obviously they're conscious of each other and how each other's cars are handling. And I'm going to tell you something. My hat's off to the Penske Dodge teams. Those guys have been the flagship of Dodge on these Speedway races. They run really good down here during the 500. They run really good at Talladega. And I'm going to tell you, that says a lot for these guys. They're in the top 4 right here.
Well, I think that almost answered my question because I think Kyle was going to go with Kurt Busch, but
it's Kurt Busch in the 2, Kyle in the 5 behind Clint Bowyer. This is for the lead, working lap 62. While they get up to full speed here, just want to update that Scott Riggs was one of the cars that started the race on a qualifying setup, could not hang with the lead pack. That's how he lost his lap, but he just got back on the lead lap as the lucky dog. Riggs drives the 10 car for Ray Abraham. See the sparks. Larry, what are you up to?
Well, I'm always up to something, Bill. I know Scott Riggs was the lucky dog, but trust me, guys, the real lucky dog, Jamie McMurray, that 26 car, those guys hung on the lead lap after having to come to pit road for a drive-through penalty, going out of bounds. Now he's already back up there in the lead pack in the 29th position. That's the real lucky dog situation.
And what kind of adrenaline is pumping through you now after you got back on the lead lap when you really weren't very lucky?
a lot, because you've got to get a race car. And it was early enough in the race where they know they had plenty of time to get this done, get their lap back, and be patient and get back to the front. And you'll see him there before this race is over.
Yeah, I think you will. We saw him drive up in the first part of the race, take the lead. Yeah, he went below the line. He got penalized. He goes to the back, but he's got plenty of time to come back to the front.
You make it sound like it's such a simple thing.
When you have a good race car, it is.
When you have a car like his car was driving the first part of this race, if it stays that way, it will be incredibly simple because we've seen these cars separate after 20, 25 laps.
This portion of NASCAR on TNT's Wide Open coverage brought to you by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Report that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is getting ready to come back on the track, and that Denny Hamlin will also be coming back out.
And remember, when these guys come back out,
good right now. Radar looks good right now.
These guys are still asking about weather. Somebody is. When they say radar looks good, yeah, somebody's asking about weather to see if any rain's coming. How hard do I need to go?
That was McMurray's team.
So, I mean, you see these cars are going in and coming back out. There's a minimum speed. That's why they have to go to the garage area. Used to, you know, and Wally, you know it, if you go back 10, 12 years ago, man, we were out here dodging people.
Yeah.
And they were running 170 when you were running 200 miles an hour. Now they want to keep everybody running in the same group, or at least running in the same speed. And it makes a lot safer and a lot easier for the drivers that are running fast and a lot easier for the guys that are getting lapped.
Wow. Casey Mears right in front of Stremme. Here comes Montoya. This is behind a pack of cars trying to break away in single file fashion.
Keep on digging right there. You've got the momentum still.
Lindsay, you watching all this?
I am watching. You guys are talking about the 17. Down here, I'm in the 17 pit right now, and they've had a concern all night because their pit is right next to Sterling Marlin's. The colors that these guys are wearing are identical. Well, that's why Matt Kenseth, when he pulled into his pit stop, came a little bit close to the wall. I'm not speculating, but I'm just saying it could be possible that he did pull in too early because he thought that the pit was his before, but he actually got on the radio and apologized to his crew.
Tell you,
Usually I say, okay, dive it in here, and I was 4 stars away, and I thought I was aimed at the right green uniforms, and then he said, keep coming. I don't know. I already had the brakes locked up. I guess it didn't really matter, but they just got to come in so slow with these cement pit boxes. You turned off faster than you normally do, and I thought you were turning in the wrong stall. Sorry about that.
Good news for Matt Kenseth, though. They were able to put those 4 tires on like they wanted. But that is a concern these guys have had all night long, guys.
Thanks, Lindsay. That was Robbie Reiser, his crew chief, the other voice you heard on there. And that is one of the best driver-crew chief marriages in NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Racing.
You know, how many times have we heard conversations between Robbie Reiser and Matt Kenseth, and it sounds like they're sitting at their kitchen table talking. They never raise their voice with each other. I don't think I've ever heard them raise their voice with each other.
And they were bitter rivals growing up as drivers. And I can tell you, when I was on pit road, I'd have Matt stall, and he and Robbie would be talking about, you know, what's he doing in our stall? Get him out of our stall. Matt just sees everything. They have a lot of fun. Larry.
Hey, guys, we talked at the top of the show and in the pre-race about those 7 cars that had to qualify on time, even though qualifying was scratched. And one of them I've been watching, and he was awfully quick in practice on Thursday, Dave Blaney in that 22 car. I think those guys had those 3 pit stops, Tommy Baldwin in that group, to work on that race car. He has raced his way up into the top 15, so don't count this cat out. No pun intended. As far as being a contender tonight.
Hey, no doubt about it. Blaney finished, what, 2nd or 3rd in the Busch race this morning, drove that Toyota up to the front, and he's done the same thing with this cat Toyota. He started at the back, and he's one of the few cars that were in qualifying trim that came in and made some adjustments and has continued to make some progress.
Blaney 3rd in the Busch race here earlier today. Snyder?
They finished 2nd and 3rd in the 2 Busch Series races here at Daytona this year, guys. And Kyle, you know the work that goes into changing over from a qualifying setup to a race setup. They actually changed on the first stop today the right front spring on this race car. They've also changed spring rubbers. They've done about everything you can to that 22 car. Good call by Larry Mack. They're running well now.
Larry Mack's all over that crew chief stuff, isn't he?
Hey, when they start changing springs and shocks like that, Larry's right there in the middle of it, man.
He's down there trying to help. He's the 8th man over the wall.
Hey, guys, let's talk about another car. Actually, that was bumped out of the show of the 39 cars.
I knew you were going to get to this.
Right behind them, Ryan Vickers in that 83 car. The tail 2 tape, qualified good last week at Loudon, kicked out in post-qualifying inspection, and this has been the nature of this team all year long. When they get in the race, they race great. It's just getting in there that's been the challenge for this crew.
And Vickers is a good plate racer.
Well, he won at Talladega in the fall, so yeah, he knows what's happening.
There's see Brian in the 83. On board his car, J.J. Yaley in the 18.
Actually, Vickers' car looks like it's actually working pretty good. It just can't go anywhere. A lot of these guys are stacked up in front of him, but he's made up a couple spots here in the last lap.
Casey Mears in the 25. Up front, Boyer continues to lead. It's Ryan Newman in the 4th spot. Matt, you watching that?
Bill sure am, and he's tucked right on the bottom, hanging right there behind the 5. Now Newman, the highest Dodge driver in the championship standings, in 13th. Their turnaround began in May with the pit crew competition. 2 second-place finishes in June, and trying to score Roger Penske's first restrictor plate victory in 120 attempts with 6 different drivers.
And that's a great point, Matt, and that's what you were talking about. The Penske cars do run well in these things, but they never win.
They've just not been able to close. The 2 and the 12 this year have just not been able to close in a lot of races. But I'm going to tell you something. All of a sudden, just like we just said, in May, they stepped up their program tremendously. And I know Ryan, you know, nobody wants to, when Ryan Newman starts winning poles, you can bet the Penske organization is back in where it needs to be. And I think they've started doing that lately.
This portion of NASCAR on TNT's Wide Open coverage brought to you by the Principal Financial Group. That's a sponsor. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It just looks like right now these guys are running single file because they're just using so much racetrack. They don't even want to run side by side at this point.
No, I was going to comment a minute ago. It's almost like nobody wants to be close to anybody right now. Even when they get to the corner, they give each other plenty of room getting in the corner. Now, they run up on each other down the straightaway, but when they're in the corners, they're giving each other a lot of room to escape. If something happens, they want to give you room to go high or low.
I'm not so sure if Biffle was subscribing to that theory. Drivers and race teams are always looking for an edge on the track. The Principal Financial Group can help give you an edge.